is the Ridiculously Amazing Insurance Agent podcast hosted by me, Kelly Donahue-Piro. This show is for growing agencies looking to maximize their biggest investment, their people. We mash up our 3-minute videos from the previous week, all with tips on how to be ridiculously amazing at insurance sales, retention, processes, marketing, running in an agency, and time management. If you want them daily, like us on social media as they're posted. But let's get started. All right, in this 3-minute video mashup series, we're going to talk all about how we get people to pick up the phone. I don't know why it's such a big issue, but it's been an issue everywhere I've ever worked. If the receptionist is out, if the director of first impressions is at lunch, or just there's backspill, no one wants to pick up the phone. And the reality is when our customer's calling us, that's a good thing. It's not a bad thing. But so many people feel it's an interruption, or they don't share in the process, or they're just trying to avoid it, that it becomes a big challenge in agencies. And in this 3-minute video series, we're going to break down the top things that we see as far as picking up the phone, people, in an agency. All right, in this video, Heath Sharon breaks down the, hey, is it an interruption? You'll hear it all the time. Another phone call? The phone here won't stop ringing. It's so B word. I don't use the B word. And we have to be honest about it. The phone is ringing. They're calling us. They're not calling our competition. And in this marketplace, that's a blessing. So in this video, we break that down with Heath Sharon.
Hey, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Happy Memorial Day week. I guess that's a thing. Happy Memorial Day week. And I hope you had a good long weekend. And we're back at it. We're back to work. And we're excited to be kicking off another week of 3-minute videos. And this week, we're going to be talking about why does no one want to pick up the phone? It's a real problem. And I shouldn't even say a problem. It's a real thing in agencies. And I know it's a surprise that people are like, wait, what? But yeah, nobody wants to pick up the phone. And there's several different, camps in that. If, I'm just going to wait and see if somebody else will answer it, or I'm so busy I can't get to it, which again, we don't like the word busy. But, there's reasons why people don't do it, obviously. But people think because they've got so much going on in their own thing, and they've got all this stuff going on around them and the emails to get to, and they've been off for 3 days, and now they got this. It's an interruption. And if I get to the phone, then we'll be able to get to these tasks, and I can't get to this account, and I can't get to that. But is it an interruption? That's hard to say. Is it an interruption? Or is it a reason we exist? I mean, think about it. If that phone doesn't ring, then we're not in business. The phone rings. That's the reason why we exist. We answer that phone and we make an impression. We impress the heck out of those people. We answer that phone. That's our time to shine. We answer that phone. There's someone on the other end of that call that we're going to quote that day. We're going to, close a deal maybe. We're going to be able to pay their claim, take care of their issues. We're going to be able to add a vehicle, take away a vehicle. We're going to be able to shine right then. That's why we exist. I really do feel like that we've got to grasp it. We have to understand that. And so again, there's got to be maybe a system to answering that phone. And we have, a system that, Kelly will probably talk about this week in a ring system of, maybe the first ring is a receptionist, the second ring is a backup, and then another tier from there. But by the time it gets to like the 4th or 5th ring, we got to get leadership to answer that phone. And if leadership has to answer the phone, we probably have an issue. And maybe, there was a legitimate reason. Otherwise, we got to see, okay, why? And again, that goes back into using phone records to track that and to figure that out. And if you record your calls, or if you have some sort of metrics, Lightspeed voice, or some sort of whoever that might be, Vonage, or whatever phone system you use that to track that and figure out what's going on there. And I think that's going to be a crucial way to get people back on that answer the phone, because again, the phone ringing is opportunity. The phone ringing is a chance for an upsell, a cross-sell, an answer to an ad, or an answer to a lead, generated message out there, or a Facebook post, or a call that you made to them. Maybe you gave them that 30-day I love you call to say, hey, thank you for your business, and you had to leave a voicemail. They're calling you back. Maybe it's a voicemail drop that you left to say happy birthday, and they're calling to say thank you. Whatever that might be, That phone ringing is the reason that we exist. So again, I really do think that this week's going to be a lot of fun, and we're going to talk about why nobody wants to pick up the phone. But I'm hoping that by the end of this week, you'll see that phone ringing is opportunity. And there's that old saying, opportunity's calling. Who's answering? So I know it's cheesy, but again, let's look at that this week, and let's talk about and let's get real about why nobody's answering the phone. And we're going to get into that. Kelly's going to talk about some of that tomorrow. I'm going to get back in there. We're going to have it's a short week of videos, but it's going to be an impactful one. Really hope that you enjoy these videos.
Next up in this video, we take a little look in the mirror, of course, of do we have the right process? Do we know who's on first, who's on second, who's supposed to pick up when, who, what, why, when, where? In many agencies, we don't. And then also too, maybe we have it in place, but it hasn't been reviewed, updated, or most importantly, held accountable to. Just having it doesn't mean that people follow it. So in this video, I break down how we need to internally organize around the phone. Hey everyone, happy Memorial Day week. Kelly Donahue-Piro here with your 3-minute video on why the heck does no one want to answer the freaking phone? I don't know what it is, but in many agencies we go to, answering the phone, it's like a hot potato. I don't know if it's got like radiation coming off of it, but the phone rings and two things happen. There's ones that are quick to pick up and they get the brunt of the calls. And then there's ones that are like, I'm gonna wait to see who else picks up. And I get it, it's hard. You're in the middle of things, you want to get your work done, but the phone is the reason we exist, which is one of the things that Heath just talked about. But as leadership, you can't assume people know organically to just pick up the phone. I know. Crazy, but so true. You need to identify who's first in line, second, third, fourth. And that is super important. We usually do it by rings, like receptionist is 1 ring, backup is 2 rings, 3 rings is this other tier, and then 4th ring, by the way, my ultimate ninja trick goes to a leader or a manager. Because if a leader or manager has to pick up that phone, we know that everyone else should be on the phone or we have a problem, Houston. And when you find out that problem, you do want to pull up call reports and look at them from that perspective, but you also want to address it with the person. I think a big mistake that people make is addressing phone pickups in a group as opposed to with the individuals. It needs to be addressed with the individuals, but it also needs to be clearly stated in their job description. If it's on their job description, you don't have anything to hold them accountable to, and that is why we have to get there. So if your agency has been struggling with people picking up the phone, we need tiers. The last tier is a manager. We need it in their job description, and it needs to be addressed with individuals, not as a group, because people can hide and keep doing the same thing. Now, we just have to get that mentality down. The phone is the reason we exist. It is not something that is an inconvenience. Although it might be in the moment, you might be thinking the last thing I want to do right now is talk to somebody. It's part of our process, right? That's one of the reasons why we have clients. And if they're not calling us, who are they calling? That's one of our strategies to make sure your agency is ridiculously amazing. We'll see you in our next video. Last is don't take it out on the poor Dofi, your director of first impressions. I can't tell you how many times I see the Dofi transfer a phone call. It's like, put them in voicemail. That's not cool. These are our clients. These are the reason we exist. If somebody's available, we should be picking up that phone. And that person receiving that phone call just needs to say, by when do you need this? Great, who are you looking for? Then you learn to catch and set expectations with people. But the reality is we cannot and we should not any longer be in a scenario where we need to be dealing with some of these items. It's just 2022. We don't need to be rude to each other, people. We like the Dofi. We want the Dofi to stay, right? And that's what I break down, or that's what Heath breaks down in this video.
Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Heath Sharon, the mayor, and I'm here with another 3-minute video. And this week, we are talking about why does no one want to pick up the phone? And we've had some really cool conversations this week about that. And I think we've come to the conclusion over the last 2 videos. Hopefully you've recognized that if you followed along with us the whole week. If not, you can catch up right now. I'm about to tell you the key to it is the phone ringing is opportunity. We have to answer that phone. If the phone's ringing, it's why we exist. On the other end of that call is someone with a need, whether they're shopping for their insurance, whether they're adding or taking away a vehicle, or whether they had a claim that you need to step up and be involved in, or they have a question about coverage. There's a reason why that phone is ringing. So we've got to get that phone answered. And so let's talk about this. As we talked about earlier, I brought it up. I think Kelly's even brought it up. We have a tiered system at APP, and maybe other agencies like you have the same thing. Ring one should be a receptionist. And what I like to call is the DOFI, the director of first impressions. And that person is huge in that role. And I think that when you have that director of first impressions, need to be trained on what kind of things say, what to say, how friendly to be. Tonality is huge in that role. To have a friendly and nice and uplifting and bubbly voice, to be able to, but to be able to answer that phone confidently and have a certain script, so to speak, for how that goes. And, after that, once that director of first impression calls and got them warmed up and they figured out where to transfer the call and where it's going next, and you're on the other end of that call, when you answer that phone, when that call is being transferred to you, you've got to be nice. It's not one of those things, you never know who's on the other end of that line. I can't tell you how many times, either in my agency or other agencies I've worked with, that someone answers that phone not recognizing that it's a transfer, and they might think it's someone, what do you want? Or what's up? I'm super busy. And then it's a transferred call and it's like, oh no. Or you're super frustrated. You're right there in the moment. You're right in the middle of responding to an email. You're doing something and you don't notice. You pick up the phone and you have a sharp tone. Again, tonality is huge. Or you're real quick to get off the phone because you've got to get back to this or that. Again, that person is calling you for a reason, and they're looking for you to impress them. They're looking for you to take care of their needs. So be nice. It's not that difficult. It's just being nice to somebody. The other thing is, if you are in the middle of a task and you are right in the middle of something, a brief hold is acceptable. If you want to finish that sentence up, let it hold for a second. Communicate with the director of first impressions, whoever's transferring, to say, hey, it's going to be just a second. I'm going to finish up this task, or I'm finishing up a phone call. Maybe you're on the other line, or maybe someone's in your office. That person, if it's a customer, or if it's a leader, or if it's another teammate, finish up that conversation as quickly as possible and put a pin in it, whatever it might be. Then again, a brief hold is acceptable. Then get to that call where you're fresh and you're ready. Or if you're frustrated and you just tell the director of first impressions, whoever's transferred it to you, I need a second. Just at least take a breath for a minute, smile a minute, get yourself ready, then take that call. But the point of it is, take the call. Don't avoid your clients. If you know who's on the other end of that call because of caller ID, or you see who it is, or the director of first impressions told you who it is, and they're calling because they're a habitual complainer, or they have a bad claim, or they've got something going on, don't avoid clients. If even if it's, let's say it's the flip side of that, and let's say that your client just added a new vehicle, or they just bought a new house, or they just added a teenage driver, this is going to be, time out of my day that I don't want to do, process this. Don't avoid. That's money. That's money for the agency. That's money for you. That's a job well done. Take the call. Don't avoid your clients. Don't avoid money. Opportunities calling. Are you going to answer? Guys, I really enjoyed this week. I hope you have too. Hope it's been a good short week for you. We're coming into the weekend soon. It's going to be a good time. Look forward to hanging out with you on the next one.
All right. Hopefully you've loved my wonderful scenario on how we go ahead and handle the phones here. I get a little fired up. Remember, we don't do ads. We don't sponsor anything. We don't have any sponsors. So if you'd like this, share it, like it, comment, ask us a question. We'd love to be featured. Have you featured in our next 3-minute video. We'll see you soon.